America's Trucking Network. This is the home of the Cincinnati Reds, 700 WLW. Now, this is going to be a blimp that'll be flying ultimately right here over the state of Ohio. You may not have heard about this one because, it's been about a week ago, matter of fact. Now, here in the state of Ohio, as our buddy Andy with Turbo 3000 found out the hard way, they're not just monitoring your speed along the interstate from the ground to where your radar detector is always going to give you notification. Now, for many, many years, they've monitored speed from above, helicopters and airplanes here in the Buckeye. And soon, it looks like soon, we'll be monitoring your speed by blimp. Yeah. Next time you're on the highway and you see one of those speed monitored by aircraft signs, look up. According to the report, the United States is getting its first persistently airborne traffic monitoring blimp. The lucky winner of this piece of spy tech was the Ohio Department of Transportation. About a week ago, the Ohio Department of Transportation purchased a $200,000 blimp in a box, as it's called, from a company called the Drone Aviation Corporation. Now, they say the state hasn't specifically decided what to use it for, but issuing speeding tickets from 1,000 feet in the air and 5 miles away is certainly on the table, they say. Now, according to an official with the Drone Aviation Corporation, where they purchased it from, he said they mentioned maybe monitoring agriculture, monitoring large gatherings, penitentiaries, traffic. Yeah, there's a whole ton of applications it could be used for. We'll come back to that here after this NHRA update, and we return on ATN. I just got a happenstance across this report about the blimp for traffic in Ohio just because I was doing more scouring about the much larger blimps that are going to be making their way into the air, monitoring the East Coast, Aberdeen. Now, unlike an aerostat, which is what they're going to be using there to monitor the East Coast, this particular blimp, it's much smaller, obviously, and it can be quickly moved from place to place. It's attached to a trailer that can be hauled behind a police car. It can be moved by car while it's still in the air. Unlike most drones, it can stay in the air for many hours at a time, providing a persistent eye in the sky. Like I said, here in Ohio, we have one of the larger aerial traffic enforcement programs in the entire country. The Ohio Highway Patrol says they've got 15 uniformed officer pilots, 2 helicopters, 14 Cessna airplanes, and now I guess we can add a blimp to the list. So there you have. There's some photographs, and like I said, I haven't seen yet the dimensions on this thing, but it's, like I said, much smaller than your typical, even the likes of a Goodyear blimp, The state will not need Federal Aviation Administration authority to fly the blimp. Tethered planes are allowed to fly below 500 feet without FAA approval. If they want it to reach a higher altitude, they simply have to notify the FAA of where it's flying. But they explain that the blimp is essentially military tech. This company has sold several versions of the blimp to different branches of the military, where they use them to monitor war zones for training purposes on U.S. soil, to expand communication networks in areas that maybe don't have such a setup. In a press release, the company's CEO said they are right now training the Ohio Department of Transportation how to use the blimp. And now we can now plan to commence training and live exercises that will demonstrate how effective the BIB blimp can be for the state and local departments that need maybe aerial assets to provide persistent coverage over an area of interest, as they call it. Remember, you've got eyes on you all the time, so slow it down. It's 29 past the hour on America's Trucking Network.